welcome back. This is session 3 of the 5-part series that I'm doing with the UHM cardiac rehab team. I'm an exercise physiologist, Hayley, and I've been doing a range of various different strength building exercises, starting from an easier session on session 1 right the way through till session 5. So it's up to you to have a little look, depending on your capabilities and what you feel you're able to do, to work through the sessions and pick a level that is comfortable for you. So we're at the midway point now. This is session 3, so things will get slightly more challenging, slightly higher intensity, still not incredibly difficult, but you might feel that a little bit more of a tension in the muscles that you're working, so it's very important that you work through series session 1 and 2 before going in. What we always tend to do is go off this broad scale, rate of perceived exertion scale from 6 through to 20. You've seen the other videos, you know what this means, and what we're looking to do is throughout the strength-based exercises you want to be working between 11, which is light, and somewhat hard. If you're coming towards hard, quite heavy, you might need to consider bringing the weight back or decreasing the intensity of the exercise, depending on what it is. And vice versa, if it's extremely light and you feel you could do more, have confidence to add a little bit of weight. That tends to be 1 to 2 kilos for the upper body if you're adding weight, and about 2 to 3 kilos progression of the lower body if you're doing those exercises. So, today's going to be a series of 8 exercises again targeting the major muscle groups around the body. You might see a bit of a reoccurring theme with the muscles that we're trying to work, but that's because the major muscle groups that we work are more efficient at improving fall prevention, your quality of life and your general health as well. Okay, so we're always going to start with a warm-up. We'll have the main content and then the cool down as well. As I always say, make sure your area is clutter-free, open a window for ventilation, and make sure you've got a bottle of water if you need to. I'm going to use a chair for today's session, so make sure you've got a nice sturdy chair as well. Other equipment, so I'm still using dumbbells, and I've also introduced a kettlebell here. You might not have access to this sort of equipment at home, so if you just use tins of beans or even a weighted rucksack or milk cartons full of water to create a little bit more weight, all of those will do perfectly well. Okay, brilliant. I always encourage, so these are within the national recommendation for exercise. You want to be doing this sort of exercise 2 or 3 times a week with a minimum of 1 day's rest in between the sessions, so you might do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you're doing this alongside your aerobic activity and also your balance and posture activities as well. Okay. Brilliant, so hopefully you're ready to go, and what we're going to do is we're just going to start with a warm-up which will last about 10 minutes, the main content and then the cool down as well. Okay, the warm-up today will be predominantly standing up, just go with whatever intensity suits you, but this is just about gradually building up those exercise levels to get the heart rate and the breathing rate up slightly. I'll just move these out of the way just before we get started. Okay, clutter-free space, be shoulder apart, and we're just going to start with a bit of a march on the spot. We normally do these a minute a piece for each exercise, and it's just about getting the relevant muscles fired up and ready to go for the strength session, whilst also increasing the heart rate and the breathing rate slightly, as you would do with any level of exercise. If you've joined me on the 3rd session, you've already seen the previous session, you might think that this is repeating myself, but we always need to make sure that our body is nice and warmed up. But this won't be to the same intensity that you might use in your aerobic session. So the strength-based workout won't necessarily get your heart pumping really fast, more about targeting the individual muscle groups. Okay, bit of a march on the spot for a little longer. we're going to go into toe tap, so tapping forward. Well done. Make sure you've got a good, nice upright position. You can hold on to a chair or onto the wall if you need to. Done. Fantastic. So what we're going to do now, take that out to the side. So step to the side. Good. Well done. As I always say, appreciate this isn't the most fun thing to do, but really important from a safety aspect, just to make sure your heart rate, your blood pressure, all of your blood flow is going around your body safely before you do strength-based exercises. Out to the side, well done. Going. Ooh, try not to kick anything like I am. Well done. And we're going to go into back step, so hold on to the chair if you need to for your posture, and you're just going to step it backwards now. Well done. Keep it going, so you're just still stepping backwards. Keeping those feet shoulder width apart just so we can maintain that balance and posture. Well done. Okay, back to that march on the spot for me. Get the arms involved a bit more now, a bit more of a swing. As we're doing that, we're going to go into shoulder rolls. So backwards, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to go back to these toe taps. Forward, just now, steady pace for now. And we're going to touch the shoulders, lower right down. Bit of coordination now. We're just getting the upper body warmed up as well. So toe taps forward, and touching our shoulders, lowering back down to the hips. Well done. Keep this going for a few more seconds. Well done. Okay. Stepping out to the side. And as you're doing that, you're going to reach across with the opposite arm, pull back in. Reach across. Nice steady pace. Just gradually increasing the heart rate and also getting that blood flow around the upper body as well as the lower body. Well done. Keep it going. Okay, back to that march on the spot for me a second. What we're going to do, like a chest you need to, this is still part of the warm up, but I need these calves to get warmed up now. So you just up onto your tiptoes, back down, tiptoes, back down, up, down. We'll do 10 of these. Eight, 9, 10. Okay, back into that march for me. We're going to bring the chest up. We're going to push out, pull back in. Push out all at chest height, pull back in. Push out and in. Get the chest muscle warmed up now. And the shoulders as well. And back in. Push out and back in. Push out, back in. Couple of more reps. Okay, we're going to go to those back steps again. So stepping backwards, nice and steady. And this time, bringing the arms up, just a shoulder height in front of you, back down. Well done. Keep it going, well done. A few more seconds of this one. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer now. Heart rate should be slightly elevated, a bit more short of breath, and ready to do the exercises. Okay, so like I said, the intensity is up a notch now. You might find these a little bit more difficult, but stick with them. They're not always going to be easy. But try and just gauge where you are based on this perceived exertion. Okay, so following the same sort of routine as I have done on the other videos, on the other sessions, we're going to start with a sit to stand. But because you've already done the sit to stand on previous sessions, I want to make this a little bit harder. So what we're going to do now is you're going to grab a weight. I'm going to use this kettlebell for today, but you can use a rucksack with some books in for added weight. Pop that on your back, grab your milk carton, just hold that nice and close to your chest. All of those are perfectly acceptable, okay? So, sit to stand, what we do, feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing out slightly, make sure we've got quite a nice vertical shin just to start with. Now we're only leaning forward as we stand up, our chest is nice and proud and head goes up as well. I'm going to hold this weight nice and close to my body here, and I'm going to drive so my feet to stand up to full extension at the top. There, nice controlled movement back down, not just plonking back down. Keeping that weight nice and close. Stand up, sit back down, up, sit back down. Okay, so we're going to do one set of 12 repetitions of this exercise. Will feel difficult, to really try and keep that form and posture. If you feel that it's getting too difficult, take the weight down a little bit. But hopefully you've worked up nice and progressively and only go in at a level that you feel is going to be between light and somewhat hard. Okay, as I've always said before, count your reps with me. If you count your repetitions out loud, that helps to regulate your breathing and avoid any breath holding, which we don't want while you're doing strength-based exercises. You're going to keep it in, count your reps out loud with me. 12 repetitions, nice controlled movement. I'll count you in. 3, 2, 1, off you go. 1, control, back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, well done. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, nearly there. 11, one more, and 12. Fantastic. So you should have felt your legs working then. Because you've got that added weight, your leg muscles are having to work harder to drive that weight up to that fully extended position, which is exactly what we want. We'll make a little bit shorter breath, as am I right now, but that's what the exercise is for. grab a drink of water, make sure you stay hydrated, and I'm going to go on to the next exercise, which is going to be the wall press up. So we've done a bit of chest exercise already, hopefully with the weight that's just been nice and steady for you to use. Now we're going to go more into a functional movement, which is the wall press up. Okay, so for this one, what you want is a nice, so your hand on the wall at chest height, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You don't really want your elbows sticking out here, you want them just in line with where your hands are. You're going to keep your body in a nice straight line, so you might have to clench your butt cheeks just a little bit to keep that core engaged. So we're on the wall, nice straight posture with your body. Be careful not to bonk your nose on the wall, that's not what we want. And you're just going to go up onto your tiptoes like a bit of a lever, feeling that body nice and straight, press into the wall, back up. Press into the wall, back up. You should feel that across the chest area. Okay, one set of 12 repetitions, make sure you count the reps with me. You want to start with your hands, so when your arms are straight. You don't want to be too far back here. So go out with your hands, once you can touch the wall, that's your starting position. Okay, hands nice and flat on the wall, off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, count the reps with me, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more, and 12. Well done. So you should feel that across the chest and then the shoulders a little bit there. Great exercise for the upper body. Obviously, if you've got an implantable device or you're recently recovering from a sternotomy, avoid that sort of exercise. That'll be further down the line for you. But it's good for the general population, and if you're recovering from heart attacks and things like that, that exercise is absolutely okay to do. So we've done upper body. We're now going to go back to lower body. Following the trend that I have been already, we're going to focus on the calf muscle, which is the back of the lower leg. So you're going to need a chair, and you'll also need a weight. So I'm going to grab one hand, just one weight, dumbbell, tinder beans, milk carton, rucksack, whatever you feel comfortable for you. And what you're going to do, stand shoulder width apart. We're going to do a calf raise, but with this added weight. Okay, so we're going to do 6 holding it in one hand and 6 in the other, just so that we know that things are evenly distributed. Starting with feet shoulder width apart, holding onto the chair. You would face the chair, I'm just demonstrating for you. Head and chest nice and upright, nice straight arm holding onto the weight here. You're just going to come up onto your tiptoes with the weight, control back down. Up onto your tiptoes, control back down. So we're going to do a set of 6 with it in one arm, set of 6 on the other. 12 all together. Are we ready? Off we go. 3, 2, 1. Tiptoes, control back down. 1. Make sure you're counting the reps with me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Swap it over. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 12 all together. Well done. Just feel that little bit of tension in the calf muscle there. The added weight, if you can go through 12 repetitions like that, when you're still up here somewhere, add a little bit of weight. Okay? Brilliant. So, what we're going to do next is we are going to go into a kickback. So this is still working the hamstring muscles. Use your chair for stability there. And what you're going to do is you're going to nice and upright, keeping the quadriceps nice and in a straight line, nice and vertical. Keep yourself upright. You're going to come up, back down, up, back down. Yeah, you should feel a slight pull in the hamstring area there. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to do 12 on one leg because it's a single leg exercise, a single limb exercise, and then 12 on the other. Okie dokie. Off we go. 1, 2. The way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Flip it over, I'll just turn around to the 60, 12 the other leg. Off we go, count the reps with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's it, keep going. 6, nearly there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well done. Brilliant. So, this next exercise, you're going to go and sit back down, just because it's easier to perform whilst you're sat on the chair. Just turn that to the side so that you can see a little bit. So, what we're going to do is the weights are going to come and you're going to be pointing your fingertips to the ceiling, okay? Nice upright posture, feet shoulder width apart, feet flat on the floor. And what you're going to do is you're just going to press out with the weight, pull back in. So as you pull back in, you're keeping your elbows nice and tucked into your body. So your elbows aren't up here, they're just in here, okay? Keeping it there. So you're going to go out, back in, out, back in. And you should feel the tension in your back here. You're in between your shoulder blades almost. Go at a weight that suits you. Remember, we're sticking between light and somewhat hard for these exercises. Okay, brilliant. So, whenever you're ready, off we go. Out, pull back in, count the reps, 12 all together. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly there, 10, 11, 12, tucking it in, well done. 12 reps, all done. Fantastic, so like I say, keeping that elbow tucked in with that movement, nice and close, so you should feel a slight pinch or tension between the shoulder blades and the back. Out and forward for those 12 repetitions. Introducing more of a back exercise now because your back is also part of the larger muscle groups in your body. Okay, so we've done upper body now, we've done the kickback. So what we're going to do now, actually, we're going to stand up. I'm going to do a little bit of a core exercise, okay? So similar to what we did in session 2, but we're now going to be standing, which means we've got to fight against gravity a little bit more, making the exercise slightly harder. So, hands on the back of the chair for support, feet shoulder width apart, and this is going to be hip flexor and core engaging again. So you're going to bring it up as high as you feel comfortable to, back down. Up, tucking your knee up, back down, okay? You're going to do 12 on one leg, 12 on the other. Are we ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, nearly there, 11, one more, 12. Brilliant. Drop it down, get ready for 12 on the other leg. Ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly there, 10, 11, 12, well done. So that will be a little bit in the hip flexors here, also working the tummy muscle and the core just a little bit as well. Okay, pop this chair out of the way again. we're going to be standing for the next exercise, but this time we're going to do an exercise that involves the upper body, and this is working the trapezius and the neck muscles here, as well as a little bit of the shoulders. This is called an upright row. So I've got 2 dumbbells, but you can use your milk carton, tins of beans, even a weighted rucksack holding the handles for this. You just want your hands and knuckles to be facing away from your body, and your hands relatively close together, so by where your hips are. You can imagine you're drawing a line up the front of your body, and your elbows are coming nice and high up above where your shoulders are. Relax back down. Bringing it up, relax back down. Okay, so we're going to do, I'll just demonstrate that from the side. Up, keeping it nice and close, back down, feet shoulder width apart, keeping that tension in the body. So we're going to do 12 repetitions of this. Count your reps with me, have a sip of water, don't rush into things, make sure you're hydrated. Get your stance ready, I'll count you in. 3, 2, 1, off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just feel it in the shoulders a little bit now. 7, 8, 9, 10, nearly there. 11 and 12. Brilliant. Should have felt that in the back and in the shoulder muscle a little bit there. Okay, brilliant. So what we're going to do now is one more exercise, and this is going to be working the hamstrings again, but in more of a compound type of movement. So it's going to be almost like half a deadlift. So what I want you to do is grab your weight. It could be your dumbbell, kettlebell, weighted rucksack, milk carton, whatever you've got your hands on. So I'm going to demonstrate this from the side. You're going to stand shoulder width apart, and always nice strong posture. Nice straight back, engaging these back muscles here. And all you're going to do is imagine that your hip is hinging backwards without standing through. You've got to push your bottom out to the straight. Okay, so bottom goes back, slight bend in the knee. And all you're going to do is lower the weight down till it reaches your knees, keeping that back nice and straight, and a nice straight line for your head. So your eyes will be looking at 45 degrees down. Keeping that back straight, so not like this. Engage the back, keep those shoulders back. Down to your knees, back up to your hips, push those hips through. And go back down to your knees, keeping a hinge and a slight bend in your knee, back up. Keeping your torso at about a 45 degree angle in this position, and straight back up. So this will work the hamstrings and also the lower back. We're going to do one set of 12 repetitions. When you're ready, count the reps out loud for me. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping that back nice and straight. 6. Keep a bend in the knees. 7. Hinging those hips backwards. 8, 9. Just to the knee. 10, 11, one more, and 12. Well done. So that's it for today, for session 3. We're going to cool down, but hopefully we've targeted all the different muscle groups yet again at a slightly higher intensity. Make a mental note of how you felt in the sessions. This is your gauge on whether to go to the next session up in the series or stay where you are and get a bit of practice at this level. Like I say, all of these exercises are very good for you. Don't be too scared of repetition, because this is how we build the muscles up. Okay, very good for you, very good for your quality of life, full prevention, and your general health as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go down to a cool down for 5 minutes then, and relax down. Okay, so standing on the spot again. And we're just going to start with that march on the spot. It's all about getting your heart rate and your breathing rate settled down again. Marching on the spot. Nice and gentle this time. We're not trying to speed things up. Slow it down. Well done. Okay, so we're going to go back into those toe taps again. that going, toe tap. Toe taps forward. Like I say on every video, these sort of exercises are very good for your general health and are recommended by the national government to be performed 2 or 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that, with a rest day in between. And you do these not instead of, but alongside your other activities. We're just going to take that out to the side now. Well done. Brilliant. Keeping it out to the side. Well done. And we're just going to do the back steps again, like we did in the warm-up. Just nice little steps this side then. Getting everything relaxed. Done. Well done, keep it going, nearly there as you cool down. We're just gonna march on the spot again, get those wrist rolls going. So we're doing them one way, we're going to go do them the other. As I always do, a little bit of forewarning when you've done an exercise session like this. You might get a little bit of soreness in the muscles that you've worked for a day or 2 afterwards. That's very normal. Shoulder rolls shouldn't be severe pain. You should just notice all your muscles are telling you that they've done a bit of work. 5, we're going to do 10 of these backwards. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and forward again. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nearly there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo, shake it out, and we're all done. So that's session 3, all done and dusted. Don't feel that you have to go straight to session 4. You can try this a few times, build that foundation, build your levels up, increase either with the sets and repetitions. So you could do 2 sets of 12 to increase that fatigue in the muscle. If you do that, do 1 set of 12, about a minute's rest, and then second set of 12 after, and that will develop the intensity as well. Or if you found today's session pretty easy, feel free to hop on to session 4 and see how that one goes for you. But thanks for joining me again, and see you soon.